What is up, Light Fam? Welcome to another video. My name is David, your spiritual awakening coach, here to help you through your spiritual awakening. Now, one of the biggest obstacles that you will face after a spiritual awakening is fear. Why is this? Because before a spiritual awakening, many just blindly accept the belief structures that are handed to them. Well, this is the way life is supposed to be. This is what your government says, this is what your parents say, this is what your religion says is truth, and you're not allowed to question that. Well, the thing about a spiritual awakening is that very rigid structures and paradigms typically crumble and fall away. And that is because a spiritual awakening is all about expansion, evolution, and growth. That which is rigid is stagnant. It never changes, it never evolves, it never grows, and it typically falls away once conscious expansion starts. And so when all of the belief structures that you've depended upon your entire life no longer resonate or no longer make sense, you can kind of feel a little lost because you may not be sure or confident in yourself to find what's true for you. Well, that's the whole point of a spiritual awakening, to find what's true for you, what resonates in your heart, and then move fearlessly authentic from that place. So how do you do that? How do you conquer the fear, find your authentic truth, and then move forward fearlessly and confidently? Well, let's find out right now. Let's go. So how to live fearlessly authentic? Well, understand that if you are questioning those old limited paradigms, that's not an accident. It's not a test of faith, and you're not going crazy. Those old limited fear-based paradigms were meant to be a part of your foundation until you reach the point on your timeline where you're supposed to wake up and evolve. There are no accidents in an absolute intelligent universe, so trust that your awakening at the exact time it happened was preordained for your highest good, so you could step on the timeline where you're living your life purpose. In short, it's all a part of the awakening process. So how do we trust the process and conquer fear so that we can live fearlessly authentic? By facing what we fear. And for a lot of people, this simply means facing themselves. Being alone with yourself, getting to know yourself, stepping back in the observer mind, and analyzing your thoughts, behaviors, interactions, and itemizing what is in alignment with fear. Why did I say yes when I really meant no? Why didn't I speak up when I didn't agree with the group? Why did I allow this person to emotionally manipulate me even though I could see right through their little game? So you've got to know your fears and insecurities on a very personal level if you expect to overcome them. You can't ignore or repress them because the universe is just going to keep bringing around what is in vibrational alignment with those fears and insecurities until you change the vibration of them. So how do we change or raise the vibration of those fears and insecurities? By integrating them, sitting with them, and accepting them. Now, not accepting them long term, but accepting them initially changes the energetic state of those fears from a state of resistance, which is a closed off state of separation and division, which means that those fears will never get addressed and will continue to show up. But it changes it to a state of allowing and receptivity, which is a flow state. So you've got to remove any resistance around those fears and insecurities. What does this look like practically? Well, you can literally sit with those fears, either in meditation or just some quiet alone time, and really lean into those fears and see what is the root of those fears. What is the root cause behind those fears? Maybe an event that happened in childhood. So you want to try to lump those fears together and see if there's one overarching theme to those fears. Once you can compartmentalize the underlying theme of all the fears, then you can start doing the healing on the trauma that's at the root cause of those fears, which then allows you to start debunking those fears. If fear is what holds you back from living and expressing your authentic truth, then we can agree that fear is the vibrational contrast to authenticity. This would suggest that if you're struggling with issues such as codependency, people pleasing, abandonment trauma, self-love issues, self-worth issues. If you're caught in the throes of those issues in that moment, you're not being authentic. Why is this? Because all of those issues are in alignment with fear. Authenticity is the vibrational contrast to fear. So your greatest version is in alignment with authenticity, because your greatest version is out of alignment with fear. If you feel like the universe is trying to force you to face your fears, issues, and trauma in a very abrupt manner right now, then that means your higher self is trying to wake up the real you, the authentic and fearless you, because you've reached that point on your timeline where you're supposed to start living your life purpose. So face those fears, heal that trauma, do the shadow work, because fear is the only thing that is keeping you from living freely. Fear is the only thing that is keeping you from enjoying the peace of the present moment and seeing life for the miraculous wonder that it truly is. Now, question of the day. What does being fearlessly authentic look like for you? Share your stories of how you're overcoming fear in the comments below. Like, fam, I'd love to hear them. If you need a helping hand living fearlessly authentic, we can work one-on-one through Zoom. Check the description for that. I will be launching group coaching probably around the end of January, something like that. So keep an eye out for that as well. If you have a question for me, add me over on Instagram _Lightways. Don't forget to check out my TikTok. I've been posting a lot of videos over there. Username is Lightways555. Little short, funny little videos. And I believe that's it. I will see all of my beautiful light fam in the next video. Light, love, and abundance to all that are watching and to all you love. Peace, guys.